Don't worry about the police right now.
No.
I tell you, I don't give a fuck about no police, you heard?
Mm-hmm.
Bitch, stop playing with me. Bitch, we'll pull up right now. Pull up.
Okay.
Pull up. Pull up.
Uh-huh. No, it was just, I apologize.
What's up?
Because I couldn't go live on my phone. My page is blocked.
Bitch wanna be famous. I'm gonna make a
On a quiet afternoon in a small town, a woman pressed go live on her Facebook app. Her hands were slightly trembling, but her face showed no tears, just tension. Behind her, a man stood silently, watching her every move. What the viewers didn't know was that this wasn't just another dramatic social media rant. It was a forced confession, and it would be her last. The woman looked directly into the camera and began speaking. Her words were rehearsed, robotic, and unsettlingly calm. She apologized to someone for something unclear. The live stream audience was confused. The comments started flooding in. What's going on? Is she okay? This looks weird. Just as abruptly as it started, the stream ended. A loud noise was faintly heard in the background. And then nothing. Less than 15 minutes later, emergency dispatch received a chilling call. A woman had been shot at point-blank range inside her home. When authorities arrived, they discovered her lifeless body, the phone still warm from the broadcast. As investigators began to unravel the mystery, it became clear this wasn't random. The Facebook Live video was a carefully staged scene. The gunman wasn't a stranger, and the motive? Tied to a web of secrets, control, and calculated revenge. This is a true story of a woman who was silenced in real time, her last words captured for the world to see. But behind that final video lies a trail of manipulation, violence, and premeditated murder that no one saw coming. How did a simple apology turn into a public execution? And why did no one stop it before it was too late? Keep watching, because the truth behind this crime is darker than the footage reveals. If you're captivated by real crime stories that peel back the layers of truth, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Your support means the world to us as we uncover real cases, raise awareness, and give a voice to the voiceless. Before we dive into today's story, we want to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? And how do you feel as the story unfolds? Welcome to Deadly Crime Unmasked, the show where we expose the shocking crimes that rip through communities and the chilling secrets lurking behind closed doors. These are real people, real events, real consequences. Don't forget to subscribe and activate notifications. You won't want to miss the gripping story that's coming up. Now, let's dive in.
Bottom of our hearts, I'm Aunt Lola, her mother Nita. We just want to thank everyone for coming out, and we're gonna send these balloons up to Nunu because she's in heaven. We know that's where she is. No doubt in my mind. She's in heaven.
She went out with a boom last night.
Get y'all balloons ready. Y'all ready? Y'all got y'all balloons ready? On the count of 3, I want everybody to say we love you, Nunu, and release your balloons on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. We love you, Yeah, this is our decoration right here. Fly high.
Ranita Williams, widely known to her friends and online audience as Nunu, was a 27-year-old woman living in Shreveport, Louisiana. Born and raised in the city, she spent most of her life within its neighborhoods, surrounded by close friends and family members who knew her as a dependable and familiar face in the community. Rannita was a mother of 3 children. Though the public record does not detail the exact ages of her children at the time of her death, she was known for being highly involved in their lives. She lived with or near her family and maintained a strong, supportive relationship with her mother and siblings. They were central figures in her daily life, and her household was often described as being multi-generational and tightly knit. Outside of her role as a parent, Rannita maintained an active presence on social media. She used platforms like Facebook, not just for personal use, but also to connect with a growing online community that followed her live streams. She was known to regularly post live videos where she engaged in casual conversations, talked about day-to-day events, and shared hairstyling tips with viewers. These sessions were informal and friendly, often filmed from her home, and they helped build her personal brand. Rannita had a particular interest in fashion and beauty. She ran a small online beauty business, primarily focused on hairstyling. This side hustle involved both in-person clients and online content, giving her a modest but consistent presence in the local beauty scene. People who knew her describe her as someone who always kept up with style trends and who took pride in presenting herself with care and detail. Her business efforts were self-managed, indicating she had some experience with marketing, client communication, and social media promotion. In conversations with friends and those close to her, a recurring observation was that Rannita was generous with her time and energy. She often extended help to people in need, whether through advice, emotional support, or practical assistance. This tendency to help others included those who, in hindsight, may not have had her best interests at heart. It was a common theme among those who spoke about her after her death, that she was too trusting, too open, and too willing to forgive. There are no public indications that Rannita had prior issues with law enforcement or a history of legal trouble. By all accounts, she was working toward building a stable life for herself and her children. She was not wealthy and her lifestyle appeared modest, but she was self-reliant. Her day-to-day activities revolved around parenting, her beauty business, and her online interactions. Friends and family noted that she was not shy, but she also was not someone who sought out confrontation. When conflict arose, she reportedly preferred to talk things through or step away rather than escalate situations. This personality trait would become significant in later events, where her instinct to de-escalate and accommodate may have been misused by others. Her online activity, particularly her Facebook Live videos, gave her a level of visibility that was not uncommon for young women in her community. However, this visibility also exposed her to the scrutiny and attention of people from her past, including former partners and acquaintances. While her online presence was mainly positive and focused on everyday topics, it also made it easier for others to monitor her activities and personal life without her knowing. As a person, Rannita operated in a space familiar to many women juggling parenting, self-employment, and personal growth. She was active in her local environment, but not known beyond her immediate circles until the events that led to her death. Her public posts rarely hinted at fear, conflict, or danger, giving the impression of a woman trying to move forward with life, raise her kids, and grow her business. Prior to the events of April 2018, there were no major public warnings or reports that signaled a serious threat to her life. The majority of her acquaintances described her life as normal, albeit with challenges common to single mothers in lower-income communities. She had relationships in the past that were complex or difficult, but these were viewed by others as part of ordinary life rather than red flags pointing to future violence. Jonathan Robinson was the ex-boyfriend of Ranita Nunu Williams and the man responsible for her murder. His background reveals a pattern of criminal behavior, obsessive control, and escalating violence that preceded the killing. Robinson was known to authorities in Shreveport, Louisiana, long before the murder. His criminal history includes multiple offenses spanning several years. He had been arrested and charged with crimes including domestic violence, illegal firearm possession, drug trafficking, and making violent threats. At the time of Rannita's murder, Robinson was already a convicted felon and prohibited from owning firearms. His relationship with Rannita was described by witnesses and family members as unstable. They were in an on-again, off-again dynamic that lasted over a period of years. During their time together, Robinson displayed controlling behavior and frequent outbursts of anger. When Rannita attempted to separate from him permanently, the situation began to deteriorate further. Despite breaking up with him, Robinson continued to appear at her home and try to insert himself into her life against her will. Robinson's control extended beyond in-person harassment. He used social media as a tool to monitor Rannita's activity. According to reports and testimonies from people close to her, he would frequently watch her Facebook lives, read through her comments, and scrutinize who she interacted with online. If he saw her communicating with men, it would trigger aggressive behavior. He would call, message, or show up uninvited, confronting her over perceived slights or imagined betrayals. Multiple sources indicate that Robinson was especially fixated on the idea that Rannita was seeing other men. Although their relationship had ended, he reportedly did not accept the breakup. This obsession escalated into threats. He accused her of disrespecting him on social media and began calling her to demand explanations for vague allegations. He accused her of making fun of his current girlfriend or posting things aimed at him. There is no indication that Rannita initiated any public dispute with him. However, Robinson interpreted neutral or unrelated content as personal attacks. He began threatening her more frequently. Some of these threats were documented by witnesses and reported after her death. However, like many victims of intimate partner harassment, Rannita did not press charges or seek protection order at the time. It remains unclear whether she believed Robinson would actually carry out his threats. Robinson's drug use and past violent behavior were well documented. According to court records, he had been previously arrested for drug trafficking and illegal gun possession. In several past altercations, he had resorted to physical violence to resolve conflicts. Police noted that his prior behavior suggested a high risk of escalation. He had reportedly threatened other women before, and in one case, allegedly assaulted a previous partner. Although that case did not lead to a conviction, Robinson's behavior became more erratic. The breakup had not been peaceful. Over the past few weeks, Robinson had been repeatedly contacting her, issuing threats and accusing her of disrespecting him online. He believed she had been communicating with his new girlfriend behind his back, or mocking her indirectly on social media. According to law enforcement reports, Robinson was angry and paranoid. He viewed her online activity as a direct insult. On the morning of April 12, 2018, arrived uninvited at the home of his ex-girlfriend, Ranita Nunu Williams. When Robinson arrived that day, he was armed with a semi-automatic rifle. He was not invited into the house. Witnesses later confirmed that he entered the residence forcefully and began arguing with Rannita. The argument quickly escalated. His tone became aggressive. According to eyewitnesses, Robinson was shouting and making accusations about a social media post. He accused Rannita of disrespecting his new relationship and claimed she needed to set things right. Rannita tried to calm him down, but he was already past reasoning. With the rifle in hand, he ordered her to get on Facebook Live and apologize, not to him, but to the woman he was now dating. It was a forced display meant to humiliate Rannita and publicly demonstrate control. Robinson wanted the apology broadcast in real time so the intended recipient and everyone else could witness it. At 10:37 a.m., Rannita opened the Facebook app and began streaming live. She looked nervous, seated on the couch, staring into the camera. Robinson stood in the background, visible at times, pacing and holding a semi-automatic rifle, later confirmed to be an AR-15 style weapon. He had forced his way into the residence earlier that morning, confronting Rannita over an ongoing argument connected to a separate woman, his new girlfriend. The Facebook live stream was not random. Robinson had ordered Rannita to go live and publicly apologize to this other woman for perceived disrespect. The entire act was designed to humiliate her in front of her online audience. As the live stream began, Rannita, speaking slowly and nervously, addressed the camera. "I want to apologize to Jonathan's girlfriend. I didn't mean to cause problems between y'all." Her voice was quiet. Her hands were folded on her lap. The video lasted just over a minute before things escalated. In the background, Robinson could be heard yelling intermittently. He was pacing the room, visibly agitated. He moved into frame momentarily, pointing the rifle at the floor, then out of frame again. His voice grew louder as he repeatedly demanded that Rannita continue her apology and speak louder. At one point, he shouted, "Say it right. Tell her what you said. Tell her you're sorry for disrespecting her. The atmosphere in the video became increasingly hostile. Viewers, unsure whether this was a prank or a serious situation, began commenting in real time. Some typed confused messages. Others told her to get help. A few recognized Robinson's voice and urged her to stop the video and call police. But it was too late for that. Without warning, Robinson walked back into frame holding the rifle in a firing stance. The video quality dipped slightly, but the movement was clear. He yelled again, though his words were partly obscured by background noise. Then he lifted the weapon. 6 rapid gunshots rang out. The screen momentarily jerked. Rannita screamed as she fell off camera. The phone, which had been sitting on a flat surface, captured only the edge of the room as it tilted from the impact of the shots or movement in the room. The sound of furniture shuffling and footsteps followed. More gunshots echoed in the background, though the camera no longer showed any people. Viewers began reacting in the live comments. Messages like, "Is she okay?" and "Call 911" flooded the feed. But there was no further movement in the frame. No response. No signs of life. What followed was a few seconds of complete silence, then muffled background noise. A few more unintelligible shouts were heard, likely from Robinson. The live stream abruptly ended. The total runtime of the video was less than 2 minutes. But in that brief window, thousands of Facebook users had witnessed what would later be confirmed as the real-time murder of Ranita Williams. When the first officers arrived at the scene, they encountered a volatile situation. Robinson was still inside the house, holding a semi-automatic rifle and pacing aggressively near the body of his ex-girlfriend, Ranita Williams, who had already been fatally shot multiple times. Family members had either fled or were in hiding inside the house. The officers began by calling for backup and setting up a perimeter. As they attempted to establish communication, Robinson opened fire on the responding officers. At least 6 to 7 rounds were fired from inside the home in the direction of law enforcement. Officers immediately took cover, repositioned themselves, and radioed in that they were under fire. This escalation prompted the Shreveport Police Department's SWAT team to be deployed to the scene. The street was quickly locked down. Armored vehicles, tactical units, and hostage negotiators arrived within minutes. Residents in the area were told to shelter in place or evacuate if safely possible. The presence of a high-powered rifle and an active shooter created a situation classified as a Code 3 emergency, requiring maximum response. Robinson remained inside the home, refusing to comply with commands shouted through bullhorns. He moved from room to room, sometimes peeking through windows with his rifle in view. The SWAT team set up sniper overwatch positions from rooftops and neighboring yards, monitoring his movement through available sightlines. Throughout the standoff, officers attempted to engage Robinson in dialogue using a loudspeaker and cell phone. Negotiators urged him to surrender peacefully, stating that additional violence would only make his legal situation worse. Robinson reportedly yelled obscenities in response and fired 2 additional warning shots, not directly aimed at officers, but clearly intended as a show of defiance. As the 30-minute standoff progressed, officers became increasingly concerned about the safety of other potential occupants inside the home. At that time, it was unclear if any other individuals were still inside or if Robinson intended to take a hostage. Due to the Facebook Live footage and witness accounts, police had probable cause to believe that a murder had already occurred. Eventually, after several rounds of negotiations and a visible show of force by tactical units surrounding the home, Robinson began to show signs of surrender. He appeared at the front window unarmed, shouted incoherently, and then stepped outside with his hands raised above his head. Officers immediately ordered him to lie face down on the ground. He complied. Robinson was then taken into custody without further incident. Police entered the house cautiously to clear each room and confirm that no one else was injured or deceased. They located Rannita Williams' body in the front room. She had sustained multiple gunshot wounds and was pronounced dead at the scene by medical personnel. The suspect was transported to the Shreveport Police Station and later booked into the Caddo Correctional Center. Authorities charged Jonathan Robinson with the following: first-degree murder, illegal use of a weapon, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, 7 counts of attempted first-degree murder of police officers, felony domestic abuse battery. The attempted murder charges were directly related to the officers he fired upon during the standoff. Law enforcement noted that Robinson had used a SKS semi-automatic rifle, a weapon known for its large magazine capacity and military-style design. It was later discovered that Robinson had a lengthy criminal history, including previous convictions for domestic violence, drug possession, and battery. Following his arrest, the Shreveport police chief issued a statement commending the restraint and professionalism of the officers involved. No law enforcement personnel were injured during the exchange of gunfire. Officials emphasized that the presence of trained crisis negotiators and tactical planning helped avoid further loss of life. In the days that followed, family members confirmed Rannita's identity and spoke to media outlets. Her mother, siblings, and other close relatives expressed deep frustration.
Didn't know it was going to happen. Just never shared it with nobody because I knew what I wanted in my heart and what I believed in. I didn't believe in killing nobody. I never believed in killing nobody. Not just him, nobody. Not even an enemy. So why? No, I'm glad justice has been served. Everything is gone. Everything is okay. So I feel a lot better now. Now I can rest. Now me and my family can go on with our life, It's over with. It's no more. So it's nothing else to talk. The decision has been made between us and everybody else. So we feel a lot better. It hurts me. It hurts me so bad. By killing Jonathan, it's not going to bring Rannita back. None whatsoever. So decision has been made, and that's what it is.
When did the DA let you know that this would happen?
We have been talking about it by months. He had asked me my decision, and he gave me his decision. So at the end of the day, the decision that was made was my decision. So no one else could look at the DA, no one else, no other different. I made that decision. So that is what it is.
Did Robinson reach out to you anyway?
Yes, he did. I never let no one know. It was privacy. Every time he reached out to me, I never let no one know. This wasn't the first time he apologized to me. It's about the third time with letters and writing. I just never let no one know what was going on with me. From this time on, it was just private. Whatever went on, it was private between me and my family. Yes, he did reach out, and I forgive him. I forgive him, but I never will forget. Thank you.
Thank you.
Not only at the killing, but also at how publicly it had occurred. Her 3 children, all under the age of 12, were immediately placed in the care of relatives. Counseling services were arranged for them through the local school system and child welfare organizations. The funeral took place in Shreveport. Attendance included a mix of family members, classmates, co-workers, neighbors, and online supporters who had never met her in person but were impacted by the video. At the funeral, several people expressed their concern that Rannita's death was part of a growing pattern of domestic violence cases that are often ignored until it is too late. Community organizations began holding vigils and forums in response to the incident. Domestic violence shelters reported an increase in calls and inquiries in the days following Rannita's death. One shelter director stated that many women referenced the video directly as the reason they were finally seeking help. Public demand for accountability grew louder. Local elected officials in Shreveport were pressured to take action. City council members, in partnership with police and victim advocacy groups, announced plans to review emergency response protocols. Critics questioned how long it took for police to arrive and whether a faster response might have saved Rannita's life. Law enforcement officials explained that the situation quickly escalated into a hostage scenario, complicating the response. They also confirmed that Robinson fired multiple rounds at police officers during a 30-minute standoff before he was arrested. The case also brought national attention to the role of social media in violent crimes. Many legal experts and digital safety analysts pointed out that platforms like Facebook lack real-time monitoring systems capable of detecting or interrupting live broadcasts involving immediate danger. The video of Rannita's murder remained online for several hours before being removed. Critics argue that tech companies should implement stronger safeguards, including faster detection of violence and immediate shutdown capabilities for flagged live streams. Facebook issued a brief public statement expressing condolences and acknowledging the incident. The company stated that it was reviewing its policies regarding live stream moderation. No specific changes were immediately announced, though internal discussions about safety protocols were reportedly accelerated in response to the incident. In the legal community, the case prompted renewed discussion about digital evidence and the impact of live video on court proceedings. Prosecutors confirmed that the Facebook Live video will be a key piece of evidence in their case against Robinson. Legal experts commented on the difficulty jurors often face when presented with graphic footage and how such content can affect both judgment and mental well-being during trial. Following the viral spread of the video, law enforcement agencies in other states began reviewing their own protocols regarding emergency calls prompted by live streams. Some departments created task forces focused on digital threats, hoping to improve their ability to respond quickly in cases where crimes are being broadcast in real time. After the sentencing of Jonathan Robinson to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, advocacy organizations began citing Rannita's case as a pivotal example of intimate partner violence that escalated in plain sight and ended in a digital age tragedy. Her case served as a concrete representation of how modern technology, especially social media platforms, can become a weapon in the hands of abusers. It demonstrated that not all abuse occurs in private. In Rannita's case, the abuse was both physical and performative, made public in real time and consumed by a live audience. In response, numerous advocacy groups, particularly those working on gender-based violence and cyber safety, began incorporating her story into campaigns, educational material, and workshops. Domestic violence shelters, women's resource centers, and youth-focused nonprofits began referencing her experience to raise awareness about the patterns and warning signs of coercive control, emotional abuse, stalking, and digital harassment. National and regional organizations started holding seminars and community town halls where her case was used to illustrate the importance of early intervention. Law enforcement agencies in certain districts also began undergoing training that referenced high-profile domestic violence incidents, including Rannita's, to emphasize the need for rapid response to repeated threats, especially when a perpetrator has access to firearms or has exhibited obsessive behavior. To advocacy groups adopting her story as a learning tool, Rannita's family took deliberate steps to ensure that her memory would serve a functional purpose. With support from local community members and social service agencies in Shreveport, her family established a foundation under her name, the Ranita Williams Foundation for At-Risk Women and Children. The foundation's mission was outlined in 3 primary objectives: to provide emergency shelter and transitional housing for women escaping violent or controlling relationships, to offer free counseling, legal assistance, and self-defense workshops for survivors of domestic abuse, to educate young people, particularly teenage girls, about the red flags of unhealthy relationships and how to protect themselves digitally and physically. Since its launch, the foundation has collaborated with schools, churches, and municipal programs to provide outreach. It has hosted free seminars where attendees learn about topics ranging from filing restraining orders to blocking digital surveillance tactics used by controlling partners. Local police departments have also worked in partnership with the foundation during Domestic Violence Awareness Month to hold events that encourage community reporting and survivor support. Beyond Shreveport, the story of Ranita Williams has influenced larger conversations about platform responsibility. Her case was referenced in several tech policy debates regarding the risks associated with live streaming features on social media platforms. Facebook came under scrutiny for the lack of real-time moderation tools, which allowed a violent crime to be broadcast live for nearly 10 minutes before being removed. Policy advocates have since used her case to lobby for stronger reporting tools, live video delays, and AI-assisted content detection systems to prevent similar events from being aired publicly. Her name has been included in academic research focused on the intersection of domestic abuse and digital communication. Several university criminology and social work programs now reference her case as part of their curriculum. Scholars have emphasized the way abusers use digital platforms to maintain control even after a relationship ends, and how public humiliation is often a tactic of dominance. Annual memorials held in her honor in Shreveport continue to draw community members, many of whom never knew her personally but followed her case closely. These events often include educational talks, resource booths, and moments of reflection, not only for Rannita, but for all victims of domestic violence who were silenced before they could be saved. The long-term impact of Ranita Williams' death is not measured solely in headlines or court sentences. It is evident in the changes her story helped influence in awareness campaigns, safety protocols, survivor services, and public discourse. Her life and death continue to serve as a warning a lesson, and a call for systemic vigilance. Her voice, though unsilenced, continues to speak through advocacy, policy changes, and the lived experiences of those she posthumously helps protect.
I just want to thank each and every one that's out here today.
Pull your balloons back.
When I say my baby was well loved from the people that's out here, from the people that came from all over the world, from the text, the phone call, from everything that you brought to me, it touched me in some kind of way because I know one thing, that she was loved. I just want y'all to continue to make sure that y'all keep Rannita in y'all heart. Don't let a day go by with just you don't think about her, because she was a loved person. One thing about my daughter, she lived her life. She lived her life unconditionally. Whatever Rannita wanted, whatever she wanted to do, my baby, she did it. She made sure she did it. From her kids to her house to her life, she made sure everything that she wanted to do didn't stop her. I don't care who it was, what it was, or what you threw at her. You didn't stop her. You couldn't stop her. I can say one thing about my baby. She's a living legacy. She left me broken, torn, and hard. My heart is ripped apart. And I can tell anybody out here, if you got somebody and you mad at them, family member and all, you grab them. And you love them. Because you don't know when it's going to be your last time seeing that person. We sit up here and hold little bit of grudges against somebody because of what somebody said. It's called freedom of speech. And everybody around here think they can control somebody by what they say and what they do. You cannot. You look at people and you smile at them, it kills them every time. But if you throw a stone for a stone, you ain't no better than them. So the first thing you need to do, you get on your knees and you pray, and whatever somebody throw for them, you pray for them too, because they don't know any better. Anybody with sense not gonna be up here just to prove a point to somebody, just for a like, just for a little love that ain't gonna last. No, please, please, your mama, your father, your child, your neighbor, your cousin, even if your neighbor don't speak to you, you did your part of saying, how you doing? You're not going to get repaid for somebody else. You're going to get repaid for your life. We sit around and we look at the next person because one person don't like this person. I'm not going to like them either. But you get to know a person before you can say you don't like someone, because that very person you don't like, that man's so powerful, he'll send you to their door and knock on their door just to need them. So don't ever think you bigger than the man above, because you're not. You're not. We all equal. We all his kids. He might not bless us when he bless you, but guess what? We gonna get ours too. So this to everyone that's out here that came to represent, to even show your love, to even come out here, I thank y'all. This means more to me than anything. That y'all could give me, your hugs, your loves, and kisses. I thank y'all. And from this day forward, don't let this be your last day to check on me or her kids. She got 3 kids behind. If it don't do nothing, the same way you go on Facebook to look at this and look at that, go on there and say, hi, Miss Nita, or how the kids doing. Go online and hi, or call me. It don't matter. Don't let this be y'all last time after my baby is gone and buried to say you do not care, because I would not think that it was phony. But please, a phone call away ain't gonna hurt you. I love everybody that's out here. I'm not mad at nobody out here. Ain't nobody that's out here did nothing to my baby that got her where she at. So don't ever think that I'm mad at anybody. Nobody. I'm not gonna be. I cannot be blessed like that. And I thank all y'all. Yes, my baby. I don't want no hatred around here. I don't want to hear nothing negative. I don't want it.
Again, we want to thank you all for coming out, showing love and support for Nunu. We all know how Nunu was. She was a star. She was a living legacy. She has had stars to comment on her. She was a star. That's all I could say. Now, I see everybody has their balloons. Get y'all balloons ready, untangle them, untwist them, and we're gonna send these balloons up to Nunu, because she's in heaven. We know that's where she is. No doubt in my mind, she's in heaven.
She went out with a boom last night.
Get y'all balloons ready. Y'all ready? Y'all got y'all balloons ready? On the count of 3, I want everybody to say we love you, Nunu, and release your balloons on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. We love you, Nunu!
If this story gripped your heart and left you questioning the truth, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with others who need to hear it. For more chilling true crime stories that dive deep into the mysteries behind these tragedies, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss our latest updates, investigations, and thought-provoking discussions. Thank you for being part of this journey with us as we uncover the truth and seek justice. Together, we can make a difference. Stay safe, stay aware, and we'll see you in the next one.